We did a day today. Yes, we did. I don't know exactly how far we made it. We made it to State Forest Road 25, which says is 106 on the map, but maybe it doesn't turn into 106 until much later. But so right now it's called 25, and it's a dirt road, and there's nobody out here. I have since I reached the top. I want to say I saw one other car, but at the most I saw two cars. For sure, I saw one at very near the summit where the PCT trail crosses, um, up by Gumboot. But after that, I got to this 25. It turned to dirt, and I haven't seen a soul, um, which is nice. It's nice to have the solitude. And I realized something. I finally made it out of Mount Shasta. I am out. I'm out. Been pondering, kind of planning, and really wanting to get out for 8 years. I was waiting for something that wasn't going to happen because I wasn't trying to do it right. I got tricked into staying there for a while. I would have left. I would have left back in probably 2017 or 2018. I would have left in 2018, that first time Bitcoin had that major crash, and I lost all the money I had left, and I was really trying to live off of day trading, and I had just quit McDonald's, and I wasn't about to go back. And I thought when that happened, I called my landlord up. I was like, I don't have the money to pay the rent. And I was just calling to let her know I was leaving. It wasn't like, I don't have the money to pay the rent. Can you help me out? I was just like, no, I don't have the money. I'll be gone in 2 days. And she was like, no, don't leave. We've got some maintenance work you can do for us. And shit. And I thought for a minute it might be a really cool setup. Because it would have been awesome if that would have just been me managing the place. But anyway, it's another story. I'm here now, and I am tired. I wish I had a cart that the dogs could ride in, because we could beat a Highway 3 already, I'm pretty sure, easily. Because it's all downhill now. It's been nothing but downhill. And there's no reason why I couldn't just be cruising at like 30 miles an hour. But the dogs can't keep up. Um, it's too much. I realize they've never done anything like that. I've never done anything like that. Certainly not with a bicycle. I've never traveled with a bicycle. Um, so I didn't know what to expect at all. It's definitely a learning experience. That's how I do it, you know. Hey, jump in, head first. Hey, let's just hike through the wilderness. Oh, seriously. If you cross the PCT, it's fairly safe to say you're in the wilderness. I mean, I think somewhere where it crosses the 5 highway, but that's not where I crossed it. I crossed it up above Gumboot at the top of the mountains, as high as you can go in California. Pictures? So, yeah. Should check for a signal to see if I have one here. I haven't had one since Gumboot. I don't think I will. There's nothing out here. There's a bunch of signs on the trees saying it belongs to the Sierra Pacific Company, and but you're not allowed to trespass. But then you see a national forest sign. So it's like, wait, what did they mean? I think it just means you can't chop wood, or like do mining or anything like that. There's a campsite right here, and Google told me to come this way. I'm all freaked out. I said the bad word that I should. I spoke the name of he who shall not be named. I spoke the name of the tech company that shall not be named. Uh, it paused my video so it could help me. There's no internet out here. And then it was just telling me, and it didn't even help me. It's just like, you need to connect to Wi-Fi in order for me to help you. It's like, oh, thank you for interrupting me when I didn't need it to tell me that you couldn't do anything for me. Thank you. You'd think, I don't know. I just feel like, everything's so advanced right now. The thing should know when I'm making a video, and that I am not actually asking it for help while I'm making a video. Unless it just thinks people are so stupid they'll forget, and they want the help from us more than they want. No. Learn. Anyway, yeah, I'm tired. It's been a good day though. It's been much more enjoyable than yesterday. I just like I'm enjoying the journey now. I'm in a place I've never been before, which has always been a good thing for me. Like if you want to see Aaron happy, absolutely for sure, put him somewhere he's never been. It doesn't matter if it sucks. I mean, the shittiest place on the planet, I'll be insanely into it just because it's the shittiest place on the planet and I've never seen it before. How shitty it can get. Uh, but mostly I would just even those places because even in those places I find like the unique things to appreciate and be interested in and learn about, learn from, whatever, or at least learn not what to do or how bad it could be. It's hard for me. That's probably I think maybe international travel saved me. Traveling to India, which I always call it a third world country. I don't think it's really that third world anymore. It's got parts though that fit the bill. I know, I was there. Uh, Anywhere in the cities, really. It's like, and most of the countryside, especially yeah. Okay, no, people are living in huts made of cow pies and and carrying bundles on top of their heads with buckets, and all their women stay inside, and you never see them. Yeah, it's third world. All right, India's still third world. I mean, it's weird because they've got parts of it in like Mumbai and Delhi that are exactly like the United States, or very close. It makes you feel like you're kind of back in the U.S., except there's rickshaws everywhere. They have really nice, perfectly, like you'd expect to see houses, like really nice. I didn't even think they existed until I went over to this one guy's house. I was like, holy crap. And then in Mumbai too, you guys have places like you'd expect to see in, well, not Malibu, but Santa Monica, condos. So, anywho, it could be worse. I have never had a day in the United States that made living like those people do in India look better. I mean, I didn't have to. It's weird being over there when you're a tourist, especially if you're an American. And like other tourists like go out of their way to help you out. And I was a very interesting, charismatic person, and I played guitar and sang very well, so it was super entertaining. And I played chess, and I smoked hash, and I knew where to get hash. And I like so yeah, I was very popular. uh, so yeah, it was never hard to make friends. Like, I never had to ask anybody for anything. Like my first, dude, when I ran out of money over there, the first thing I did was take this one guy up on his offer to work at his guest house, which turned out to mean just hanging out and being friendly with any Westerners that came around. And they gave me a place to sleep and food to eat. I was content to stay there for a long time. Uh, Gosh, I might never have left that situation. I probably wouldn't have. I wasn't planning on it, except that this guy Kenny showed up, and then this biker gang, led by the Norwegian Shiva riders, showed up. Um, First Kenny, and Kenny hung out at the guest house. It was just me and him, and we just became really good friends. And I played guitar and entertained him, and we played chess, and it was just really nice. And we were just hanging out, buddy buddy. And then these crazy bikers showed up, and they mobbed our guest house of all places. I didn't invite them there. I came back to my guest house, and there they were. I was like, holy crap! And they turned out to be really cool. And they really liked me and Kenny, and they wanted us to come with them with their bike gang to go riding through the Himalayan mountains. And Kenny was like totally into it. And but Kenny had become really good friends with me, and he was another American, and he felt really safe with me, and he wanted me to come. And I was like, I'm ready for that. And he's like, dude, I will buy you. I didn't hint at it. I didn't ask for it. He's like, I'll buy you a bike and pay you away. Don't worry about it. I just want you to come on this with me. And I was like, okay. I'm in. You don't have to twist my arm. He bought me a bike. It was an Enfield in India, so it was like a couple $100, but it was 30,000 rupees, which was a lot of money for them. For him, it was nothing. He had like had a business in the U.S. and he sold it, and he was just traveling around the world, just kicking it. um, so he threw a couple $100 down for a motorcycle or something like that. It might have been more than that. It might have been like 500. I don't know, whatever. It was really cool looking. I have pictures of that bike. You're seeing them now. Um, Lone Star. That motorcycle was so awesome. It didn't go very fast. It's only a 350cc. It's an Enfield Bullet 350. I loved it. That thing was so great. I had so many adventures. That bike took me. I was on that bike on my greatest day with Juhi from the V Channel, riding up the Kardungla Road in the Himalayan mountains to like the highest motorable world in India and highest motorable road, like the third in the world, I think, or something like that. They used to build it as the first, but it's actually like second or third or something. I think China did something to Everest. Anyway, you can see it's either Everest or K2 that you can see from up there. I think it was Everest. I forget. There's so much that happened, and we were stoned out of our minds all the time on hash, opium, and ketamine. Dude, babas and saffron wander out down the like we're in a place like this in the middle of nowhere in the Himalayan mountains. This baba and saffron cloth wanders out of the woods and offers us the freshest just collected opium goo you've ever seen in your life. And so you'd smoke that and hash and ride through the mountains. It was hard to remember much of what happened, but I definitely remember it was awesome. And there's some stuff you just can't forget. There's stuff that sticks in your mind. There were certain like mountain formations that I saw, the ones that were like iridescent colored and super jagged that were amazing, and the yurts that we would have to stay in on the way to Ladakh, and you'd sleep under. You literally slept on a mattress under a mattress. it was it was so soft and comfy though. But it's like that was the only way you could stay warm out in the middle of the Himalayan mountains because they wouldn't keep a fire going for anything but like cooking, like absolute necessity because they're just burning cow pies. That's all they burn up there in the Himalayan mountain, like the high country where there's nothing but rocks. They burn animal shit. I don't know what the hell the animals eat to shit, but they eat something. There's yaks up there. But yeah, so yeah, it's a different experience when you're a tourist in India. It's not the same. Uh, it's so weird. And a lot of it is like if a very open and rigid class system, caste system. I could go on for days about this. I don't know when I'm going to be able to upload these. This could be a podcast now if I keep going. But I, yeah. Now today I realize I can make it. It's not going to be. I can do this. Take time, but I can do this. Um, there are going to be adjustments to my travel along the method or arrangements along the way. I think we're going to lose the bicycle at some point, almost for sure. Maybe just for a better bicycle, maybe for a ride. Probably for a ride. I can't imagine me heading down the coast for too long, me being me, without somebody giving us a lift. Um, I don't know. I forget it's me. And I get the rides other people would never get. I'm not your typical hitchhiker by any stretch of the imagination. I am an earthbound Ford prefect. For all you know, I am Ford prefect. I'm just stuck on this planet because I can't get a ride off. That's how I felt in Mount Shasta. I felt like I was stuck on that in the planet of Mount Shasta, and I just couldn't get a ride out. And so I didn't wait for a Vogon constructor fleet. I grabbed a bicycle and walked out with the bicycle because I got ducks. And I didn't think about that very hard. I wasn't gonna bring it at first because it had the flat, and I didn't want to spend money on a tube and a tire. It wasn't that I couldn't fix it; I just didn't want to spend the money on it. It's like I had to take more money out of my crypto, so it's like, and it's not like taking $20 or $30 out when that used to be like $5,000. So that $50 or $36 that I spent was actually probably more like 360 or something at one time, or more, worse, 700. Actually, it was probably closer to it. I just spent like $1,000 essentially on a tube and a tire because that's how much that crypto was worth when I bought it, and that's how much it ceased to be worth when I had to spend it. I've been doing really good about not spending the last 200 that were in there, but this was just because I tried to pack and there was no. I had to bring these at least in the beginning. I mean, maybe I didn't. I always overpack on food. 10 pounds of granola for Christ's sakes. I haven't even gotten through my bread and peanut butter yet. I ate salami, and the dogs just finished the last of their hot dogs. So but they've still got plenty of oats left, and they can also eat peanut butter sandwiches, which they absolutely love. And it's great protein for them. So and they'll probably eat the granola too. I mean, they eat oats. They eat raw oats like it's like it's the best stuff in the world, especially when they're hungry. Um, I think they're missing the nutritional value. There's a lot of bugs out here. I don't like it. It doesn't seem like they're. I always wondered that about insects. Like they're so attracted to people. It's like when you come to a place where there are no people. Like how do they find me? Where do they come from? Like how far did they have to travel to get to me? And what the hell were they doing before? Because there's nobody else out here. Am I like, or how? Why are humans the hottest game in town for insects when, like, normally we're never around? Are we like, I don't know, are we the caviar of insects? Or for insects? uh, Mouth is dry and I need water. I have water. Water is important. Today I felt that for a minute. It's a weird feeling, like thinking, oh shit, I could run out of water and I'm in the middle of nowhere with nobody else around and there's no cell service. I might have been able to find cell service. There was cell service at the top, which is weird. I guess not, because it's weird green flies. You ever seen those ones? A lot of big flies out here. I don't know. Maybe they're living off the bear and deer shit or something. I think I may have spotted a deer today, but aside from that, I haven't seen much outside of chipmunks, pheasants, chipmunks and pheasants. Been pretty quiet other than that. We're pretty high where I was. Well, it was that high up. The highest elevation I hit was 6,400 feet. We're already back down to 3,800. There was something I wanted to mention about traveling. About bringing water, maybe? Definitely kicking my own ass for not bringing big brake pads. Because I could actually just coast the whole way down if I could use the brakes, but I'm down to the like almost the bare nothing on one set of brakes that I had left. I really, it's inexperience. I'm not an avid bicycle rider. In fact, I didn't ride a bicycle for the 8 years or the, not 8 years, but like at least 4 years that I had that thing. Maybe longer. I think I had that bicycle for like 5 years, and I tried to ride it at first, and it wouldn't really work well, and I think the tire leaked, and I just didn't want to bother with it. So it just sat in my yard forever and ever, and then when I realized I had to get out of here and I was going to be outdoors and I had to carry everything, I was like, oh my god, I need something to put all this stuff on. I wish I would have kept my dirt bike. Kicking my own, there's so many things I'm kicking my ass about. But whatever, we do what we do and we'll figure it out. I am unstoppable. When I decide I'm going to get somewhere, I get there. Or somewhere more awesome than that. Say, if I don't end up in Mexico where I want to go to, then I will. It's only be because I ended up somewhere even more awesome that I just couldn't pass up. Which reminds me, I need to call about that Eden thing. I forgot to do that. Oops. I meant to do that before I left, but I can do it on the way. It's not a big deal. I For some reason, I thought it was only like 2,000 miles to get where I need to go, but it's like 3,300, 3,300 miles to get where I want to go. It's like, whoa, okay. And that's the short way, actually. That wasn't even going the way that I want to go. That was if I went like through Nevada and Arizona and all that shit, which I don't know, maybe. Let's see what happens. When you do these things, you don't you have a destination, but you don't have a timeline or a plan. I don't. It's the walk of faith, I guess. I'm into like figuring things out along the way. Yeah, the adventure of winging it, of figuring it out as you go. It's like you have an ultimate goal, but you have no clear path to getting all the way there. You got a clear first step, you know, and that, an idea of how you can get there, come hell or high water, like me, if worst comes worst, I will on foot walk 3,300 miles. It can be done. Take a really long time. It can totally be done. I think it can be done in like a month or something. What did they say? No, it wasn't 11 days. There was something that said it only took 11 days to get to there. I want to say it was by bicycle. It's got a ridiculous. It said it only takes 18 hours to get from where I was in Mount Shasta to Arcata on a bicycle. They expect you to make that trip in 18 hours on a bicycle. That's hilarious. I mean, I guess if you were just on a bicycle, yeah, okay. I mean, if I was just on a bicycle and I was just going to Arcata and just to ride to Arcata for some reason, I was gonna sleep there and then ride back the next day or something. Yeah, I could do it in 18 hours. It was just me on a bicycle with like water and enough food for that day. It's conceivable, especially the downhill. You could rip it. Once you get to the top of Gumpu, it's downhill pretty much all the way to Arcata, I think. There's got to be some uphill along the way somewhere. There has to be. But not right now. At least not till the 3 for sure. There is no uphill till the 3. There's probably some after that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I will just gab on forever. It's one of the effects of me walking in complete solitude in the total wilderness of the United States and what's left of it. This is some wilderness, man. I am actually mildly concerned about wild animals. Little bit, not that concerned. I've got 2 dogs. I've been in the woods before. I've never had a problem. And I've had animals around. I just don't have problems with them. I don't know. They tell those stories about monkeys. Now they like rip people's heads off and or parts of their scalps off and break bones and stuff when they try to feed them. I literally, when I was in Rishikesh, sat down in the middle of their bundars, the smaller brown ones, but they're still good at size. I sat down. They're the ones that like they have that video on Nature's Metal where one rips some guy's scalp off. I don't know. Joe Rogan was talking about it. They were that kind of monkey. I sat down in the middle of those with a bag of popcorn and did what that guy was doing to feed him. And maybe he was trying to like hold it back and feed him by hand or something. I just put the bag out there and let them take it and have it. And they just like came to me and took popcorn and ate the popcorn, and it was awesome. I wish I would have had that on video. It was one of the coolest things I ever did. And then there was that other, they had these bigger black and white ones. And it like kind of reached out as we were walking down this one little alley with a ton of people and some holy pilgrimage thingy. I don't even remember where it was. This monkey like reached out and slapped me and I smacked it back. But that was the end of it. And no appendages were broken, no limbs were broken, ripped off. I don't know. Maybe I was just lucky. I don't think I'm lucky. I have a lot of interactions logged with wild animals in the wild, and I have no horror stories at all. Nothing. Just, oh, I saw that. That was cool. I gotta put that video up of the deer I saw the other day and how close they were. Like they were just right there, and they don't run. With my dogs aren't there. My dogs weren't there that day. That was the big thing about it. They'll run for the dogs will chase them, but me, they just look at me and I look at them. They look at me and I look at them. uh, they just they're just watching to see what I'm gonna do. I just wave at them and say hi. Can I take your picture? And I take their picture. Oh, this bugs. I should have brought bug spray too. Fuck. I hate bugs. I just, if my number one of my number one complaints to God, bugs. I have a lot of them, but if there's God and He actually made these things on purpose and put us on this planet with them, He's a fucking piece of shit. It's like this is something. Insects are something that belong in hell, right? That's something you would expect from hell. Buzzing things all around you all the time while it's super hot, is annoying the crap out of you. You're being tortured by whatever. Like I don't know. Maybe this is purgatory. I wonder that sometimes. You ever wonder that? Like if maybe we are actually living in hell or at least purgatory, because it would explain a lot. Like it seems like everybody's suffering, but not everybody is the thing. Well, you don't know that. We present that on the outside. Who knows? I don't know. I've met people who seemed legitimately happy, but anybody that I've hung around long enough, I have without fail found that they were not. Everybody's got some secret hidden trauma or misery or whatever. They're just totally and completely discontent with their lives about, no matter what they have or don't have. People just find a way to be miserable. Miserable because they got too much, or miserable because they don't have enough. Miserable because they keep having too much and then enough, or I don't know. A lot of it's just not having any understanding of our existence, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry with the will to do so is telling them, I know the way, and this is what you need to do, and this is what's going to make you happy. Everybody's telling everybody all the time what's going to make them. They need this to be content. You got to do this to be happy. This will make your life complete. There's no such thing like that. It doesn't happen. There is no contentment. There's no ultimate contentment. There's no ultimate completeness. You just go and keep going until you can't anymore. There's no sit down and go, time. I mean, people do that. Those people are dead. They sit in their freaking armchairs and watch TV all day and don't do anything else. Or they sit and play video games all day. I love video games though. I still miss them, and I still wish I had a laptop with me so I could play sometimes. It sucks. I always say that like television and movies are only interesting because your life isn't, and that's true. But video games hold, even when your life is interesting. I was in Kurukshetra, India, one of the most interesting places in the world. But I was there for a really long time, and I spent a lot of days just in an internet cafe playing. What was I playing? I was playing Counter Strike at that time, I think. Yeah, I just played Counter Strike every day. So I didn't have really much else to do, and I didn't have any money. It was the only thing I could do for free. Because the guy I was staying with had an account there, and they had this special lucky that they had this month where certain people with accounts, I don't know, could had unlimited access. Because they normally charge by the hour or something like that. Internet access in India was not easy to get at the time back in 2007. Yeah, that was 2007. It would have been, I think. Yeah, this is going on much longer than it should have. But this is a podcast now, so this is Hitchhiker's Guide to Earth number 3. And I am on the road. Not hitchhiking yet, but I might. Probably. I don't know. I always consider, like I said, I am hitchhiking a ride on this planet. I am Ford Prefect. And I am stranded here for real. I am the real hitchhiker, galaxy hitchhiker. Dude, I would seriously, if a spaceship came, that would be one of the things that would stop me from going to my current planned destination in Mexico. If a alien, if Zaphod Beaverblox type showed up with his spaceship and said, "Hey, want to go for a ride?" Oh man, yeah, I would be out in a heartbeat. Of course, you wouldn't because I'm a guy, but it could be like a female version of a Zaphod Beaverblox. Hey, want to go for a ride? Trillion. She could be Trillion. Yeah, that'd be cool. Trillion got tired of Zaphod and kicked him out of the heart of gold, ditched him, stole it from him, stole the spaceship he stole, and then came back to Earth, the new Earth that got recreated, and found me and picked me up. That'd be great. It's not even. It, it's not that this place has disappointed me so much or bored me so much. I mean, there's a lot of places to see that I haven't yet. I'm going to one of them right now. I'm in one of them right now. And that's still more than enough to make me happy and keep me going on this planet. But I also know that there is an entire universe out there. If I had the opportunity to go and explore it right now, I would, without hesitation. That's one thing that I would ditch my dogs for. I would hopefully be able to bring them with me. I don't see why not. But if for some weird, fucked up reason I couldn't bring them, that made sense. It didn't make me feel like the Trillion was being weird and was gonna like just sell me into galactic sex slavery or something. Might not turn out to be that bad. Who knows? uh, yeah, 30 minutes is. Hey, podcasts are supposed to last a really long time. I suppose I'm always saying I could talk forever. And eventually I will get near somewhere with a really good connection, actually. So it won't be such a big deal to upload stuff. Um, so, I don't know. You like my tent now? That's all you need. Tarp. You don't even need one that big. That thing's huge. It's like the biggest tarp you can get. I bought that last year. That's the same. I've had that same camo tarp. Uh, wow. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Gregory backpacks last forever. I mean, mine. Holy crap. I bought this backpack in 2012, and it still works like a charm. That's what you get if you walk into a mountaineering store and say, "Give me the absolute best backpack money can buy here." That backpack is what they give you. Uh, it's like 500 something, and it was worth every penny. uh, yeah, that will survive police putting you in jail and taking all your stuff. They'll give you your backpack pack for free, at least. Won't give you your van. State California trooper asshole. I didn't find that guy's name so I can dox him every time I talk about him. He's a dick. That's an asshole. That is a human fucking piece of shit that takes somebody's with a dog, and she was young and cute too at the time, who in the woods, like in a Mount Shasta kind of place, what kind of asshole puts a person and their dog out on the street? Like, I wasn't planning on staying there for 8 years. I was going to get gas so I could leave. Oh my god. And they took it away from me and stuck me there. Because I couldn't fathom the idea of hitchhiking with a dog. I still can't. Look what I had to do to get out. I had to ride a bike. Because I don't know. I just don't want to do it. And I can't get all my stuff into a single backpack right now. At least not yet. I don't know. Ugh. It's a crazy life I lead. Now it's crazy though. This is my kind of crazy. I like this kind of crazy. I'm going somewhere, doing new things, never done before, screwing them up, learning from it, and doing better. So, yeah. The other thing about me on a trip is it just gets easier. I needed a year. I wish I would have left last year. I could have left last year to go to Mexico and do exactly what I'm doing now. I had the invitation. Um, why didn't I? Oh, I foolishly, instead of just buying a van when I had the money, kept it on crypto because I wanted to get up a little higher. I was hoping to get up to like 10. I wanted to get to 10 grand. I was like, let me get to 10 grand. Then I could buy a van. I still have plenty of money to get a nice van. Still have plenty of money to invest. And instead, I just watched it slowly get smaller and smaller and smaller. And as it got smaller, I gave in and got certain things, not as many things as I should have. I should have bought a laptop. I should have bought new shoes. I should have just bought a van when I had the money to buy a fucking van. It's not crypto's fault. It's my fault. It's trading poorly. I really thought it was going to do more right then. When it hit 60 or 70, I really thought it was going to do the 100K right then. I didn't. People suck. Because cryptocurrency crashes don't just happen. There's too many people, including Main Street or major institutions that are into it. BlackRock is into it, for Christ's sake. It just went. I keep talking about this, and I keep talking about it because they keep getting deeper into it. They just bought into Coinbase, like they were into mining Bitcoin. Now they've like bought a part or shares of Coinbase. So BlackRock doesn't get into stuff that's going away, and they sure as hell don't buy shares of Coinbase. It's like, okay, mine it so you can sell a whole bunch of it all at once and make the price crash. Oh, wow. So you can then buy tons of shares of Coinbase and Bitcoin again at a much cheaper price. BlackRock did this. It wasn't just them. It was Schiff. Not the Schiff, the gold guy. Um, it is the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs. I'm telling you, man, those guys, they didn't even buy Bitcoin and then sold it. They mined it. They mined as much Bitcoin as they could, and then at an agreed time, just all like they just sold it to shit. They probably had a lot of help. There was somebody just did a video recently. I think it was Coin Bureau about who all the people who want to get rid of Bitcoin. Um, and it was things like the Fed and Goldman Sachs, the central banking systems. They can't have it. Here's the thing here's why governments, our government, but all governments that have fiat money have to have control of the money supply. Why are they the only ones who can print a viable currency for people to use? Here's why. Because taxes aren't how governments really survive. Okay? Inflation is how they really survive. And they inflate it because they're the only ones who can print it, and they can print as much as they want. Like, it's never really dawned on people that this is what's happening. Like, it's never occurred to anybody that the government is printing more money. Like, they're increasing the amount of physical currency in the supply, whether it's digital or physical cash. And a lot of it's digital, which is why people, generally speaking, don't notice it. And it's not just them, it's the banks with their fractional reserve banking thing where they make money out of nothing. So they're doing it. So between them and the government, who they're in cahoots with, they have an endless money supply to do whatever they want. That's why government can just keep expanding and expanding, even though nobody, as far as the general public, is really into it. Like, not even government employees or contractors are out there, hammering at the gates saying, we need more government, we need more oversight, we need more departments and more whatever. Like, nobody's asking for that. Nobody. The only thing anybody's asking for is freaking free college and places to live. Like, and that's it. Like, make sure like nobody's screwing us over too hard. Like, these are things that people ask for all the time, and they don't do it. They just don't do it. They'll send money that would pay for those things, kinds of programs, multiple times to foreign countries to assist them in whatever bullshit war they fabricated or manufactured. Thank you, CIA. 'Cause that's what the CIA does. They just go around screwing things up, starting conflicts so that the defense companies can then go in and supply weapons to the people fighting in those conflicts. And that's how the defense companies can keep making the kind of money they were making in World War II and Vietnam and Korea and Afghanistan, because they were able to pull the shtick off where we had to go over and fight for a long time. The terrorism thing lasted for a really long time, but they drained that one dry. They know people aren't buying it anymore. They know people just really aren't into fighting anybody at all, because why the fuck? We're in business with everybody. Why are you fighting these people? So it's like the argument's just not there. You're not going to get it, not even from the business community, because they're all in business with well, they were with China and Russia and all those places, and they still are. It's just off the books, or they don't talk about the businesses that are still, they do a few show sanctions or whatever, but it's all still going on. Everybody's still buying and selling their commodities like crazy. So they get some other little shit country to fight somebody and just send them weapons, and then we pay for it. We're going to send 40 billion in weapons to the Ukrainians, who are now reselling those weapons to other people. Fun, who knows what. And I understand it. I was talking about this the other day. It's like, we want to say, oh, the CEOs of this defense of Lockheed and Boeing and Raytheon and all these people, they're just evil and blah, 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 blah. And maybe. There's a decent chance, though, they just don't think about it. And they do think about the the millions of employees that they have. And we have to think about this too, because these are the people who vote people like Liz Cheney and Nancy Pelosi into office every year, because they always vote the defense budget. They always vote it in, and they always vote to go to war, do whatever, to get more weapons sent. And that weapons manufacturing, contracting, and things like that are like our number one. That's the number one U.S. export, and that's also like what employs a lot of people in this country. You got all the government employees, you got all the think tank institutions, you got all the different special schools, but then you've got all the defense industry companies, all the manufacturing in every state that there is. And then not just the people who work in the manufacturing, but all the people who work in the businesses and that provide services and support the people who are working in that defense industry manufacturing. So the, all the restaurants that feed them, and the grocery stores that feed them, and the clothing stores that clothe them, and the electronic stores that sell them their electronics. And you're like, oh, well, those people will get those things anyway. Well, yeah, except if you just kill the defense industry and just kill their job without them to have something else to do. All the people that they were previously paying money to and who were making their livings off of those people who work in the manufacturing, they're also screwed. And then all the people who were supporting those people, it's a cascading effect, and it would wipe out entire towns, if not states, if we just stopped making weapons. If we just stopped destabilizing countries. If we just stopped doing that, we would stop having a successful economy. Oh, and then all those people that were previously voting for the current politicians would be very upset that they wouldn't be able to get into office anymore, and it would just upset. Yeah. There's no incentive for peace. There just isn't. There's no financial incentive for world peace. You're like worried about coming up with incentives for, responsible climate action and whatnot. Well, we can't even get along with each other. How are we supposed to get everybody to come together and save the planet if it even needs to be? I mean, it doesn't, right? Like George Carlin said, the planet's fine. The people are fucked. And even that's very questionable. I don't know. I've looked into this. I've looked into these things. Like I've done research on climate change and the causes of it and who is I've most importantly looked at the people who are saying that it's a big deal and it's a real problem. And I've looked at what they are calling evidence. Oh, dude, one of the best things I ever saw was when this professor was being questioned about some kind of sea activity that was very uncommon, but it was a positive thing. And the scientist the interviewer was talking to was still trying to spin it like it was climate change and so it was a bad thing. But then the guy was like, well, because they're doing this, like all these good things are going to happen now. Is like, isn't that kind of a sign that climate change isn't bad? um, and she was just kind of like, it's like, how do you know this is going to be a bad? She's like, well, we don't know. I mean, it could be a good thing. It seems like a good thing, but we don't know. We don't know. It could be bad. And that's like literally was her entire argument. It could be bad. We don't know. We just don't know. And that's the reality of it. All these things they say are going to happen, like the sea levels are going to rise, and that everything's going to die, and everything's going to dry up, and the atmosphere is going to, ozone's going to disappear, and blah 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 blah. These are all fucking theories, and all the stuff that they point to around the world to say, oh look, climate change, all the like weather patterns and the hurricanes and the droughts, and all that shit. There's nothing weird about it. Things change as far as the climate goes on this planet. We're still in an ice age. We're at the tail end of an ice age, coming out of it, which, if I'm not mistaken, if you're coming out of an ice age, I'm pretty sure that means things are warming up. There's going to be some ice melting in some places. But then, I don't know for sure on this, but it seems like there's some places that are getting drier, but there are other places that are getting wetter. Otherwise, why would there be flooding and hurricanes that are so common, and tsunamis and whatnot that are so common and so out of the ordinary? I mean, how can that be part of the same climate change that's drying everything up? It's like, if all that's happening, some places are going to be wet and warm. My guess is there's going to be more places where people can grow food as opposed to less places. And the water levels aren't rising. And the really weird thing is all the people who are talking about climate change and how the water's going to rise and we're all going to drown and all that crap, they're all buying coastal properties. Buying islands. Like, yeah, they're buying yachts and super blah, blah, blah. They're just buying that because there's no laws in at sea. You can do whatever you want at sea. And it's like the ultimate privacy. Anyway. We're going to make it to 45 minutes and I'm calling it. I am tired. But yeah, walking gives you time to think. Sort through things on your mind. I got a lot of information in my mind. I don't just believe things. I refuse. I refuse. I'll trust things because all evidence points in that direction. But unless I have personally witnessed it, experienced it, or, unless I have personally experienced it and thus know it as true because I have seen it in action to be true. It's like, yes, this thing is here. The sun in the sky. There is a bright ball of light in the sky that we call the sun. I believe that is there. What it's made of is anybody's guess. Scientists keep changing what they say about that. But, there's some people who'd be like, oh, it's a giant ball of nuclear explosions and blah, blah, blah. I think they just found out that it's something else. Like the inside of it's like super cool or something like that. But either way, it's like it's just what we know right now, which is nothing. We know nothing. Even the stuff we think we know is just we're just observing. They don't know what they're looking at. They don't know why it does that. They don't know who set it in motion or if anyone set it in motion or how it came to be in motion. They just know that if you do this, this happens. Usually. Until something new comes along and if you do this and whoa, something else happened. It's all up in the air, man. All everything we think we know is all up in the air for complete and total disapproval. Everything people believe, it's like that. It's the scientists are on shaky ground. Think about us, most people, normal people, and all the stuff we think we know because somebody in school or on TV told us, and so everybody agrees. So it's like, oh yeah, that's true, and not one single person can prove it. It's like, oh, there's 9 planets in the solar system. Okay, prove it. Well, there's 8 plus the dwarf Pluto. Prove it. Can you prove it? I can't prove it. I can look through the telescope and see there's some kind of something out there. I can't prove it's a planet. Well, we did send probes. I didn't send the probes, and I didn't see the pictures. And even I had seen the pictures, unless I sent the probes and built them and like all the equipment that was in them and was, you know, the only one using it, so that there was no possible way that anybody could be faking anything that I'm seeing. Doesn't matter who sent a probe to see what. Maybe, probably, maybe not. uh, yeah, I'm tired. I'll go on about truth forever. Still on that search. Not as hard as before. Still looking for certain things, but now I'm just more interested in understanding life to a point where I can make it, you know, financially comfortable for me. I've never had that motive goal in life. I've never had the goal to be financially successful in any way whatsoever. It's never been a goal. It's never been on the list. Anything I ever did in the past was mostly just to attract women because I was looking for that one. Because I had to find her as soon as possible because, you know, the world might end any day. I just wanted to have that at least, you know, when I died. Not die alone because my family were a bunch of assholes. Still believe in that dumb shit or support my dumb family who believe that dumb shit. Pisses me off. I'm moving to Mexico. They got Jehovah's Witnesses there too, but I don't know any of them. None of them are my family. The dogs are out. Sleepy, sleepy. And yeah, it's time for me to start thinking about that too. Toodaloos. Till next time.